filming is hard. I'm in some sort of like scrunch thing, but this looks great. You couldn't tell until I pulled back the curtain there.
3, 2, 1, bro.
What is up, folks? Welcome to What's on the Shelf. We're talking about stuff that's on our shelf, games we own, things that are around, why we own them, whether or not we should. So today we're going to be talking about this section right there. And we got some good stuff here. I'm pretty excited for this week. So first off, we're going to see, bam, the networks. This is a great game where you're running your own TV network and you're trying to have the most viewership. That's your points. And it's counted in millions of viewers. And it's just really fun to be able to kind of program, you know, your own shows, and there's a really good sense of humor in that game because everything, instead of the show Lost, it's the show Found. Instead of CSI, it's CSI, you know, and then all of Pi is behind or something, just like 50,000 letters. And so it just has a really good sense of humor, and you get more viewers based on if you put the right show with the right star at the right time and you have the right ads. There's all these different things you do to generate income to pay for your high-priced stars, or, you know, whatever else you might need. Another thing that's really cool is really deciding when this show has really had its run, because it's not going to stay popular forever. No show does. And you kind of want to pull it before it goes past its prime, and it's like 3 seasons of Scrubs too long, and you're like, oh, I wish you hadn't done that. I wish you just left me wanting more. So there's a lot of really interesting things that all kind of go into, you know, TV production and trying to have the biggest studio around. Again, great art, great sense of humor. That is the networks. What else do we have? Well, this very heavy box here. This is Lord of the Rings, the card game. Bam. This is, what do they call them? Living card games? LCGs? Nick's my person with those answers. It's a living card game. Really, really fun. Obviously, it's a theme that appeals to Nick and I quite a bit. This will always be the top for me. I know that the Arkham Horror card game stuff they have now is kind of a similar thing, and a lot of people really prefer that. But I'm like, dude, Lord of the Rings, though. I want to be Aragorn. I want to be Bilbo. I want to be Glorfindel. I want to be all these people from the mythos and be able to kind of assemble my super teams depending on whatever encounter we have and whoever we're trying to fight. And it's just really hard and really fun to try to work together. And like, how do we put together something that's useful here? So I love the cooperation there. And Lord of the Rings card game is something that, you know, it's one of those money pit games because you keep buying more stuff for it. But I'm happy to make this one of the few things that I do that for. Nick and I both are. So we just kind of split everything and we'll collect stuff on that forever. That's Lord of the Rings, the card game. This right here is a super fun game. This is a game that I actually like to play with a lot of people that aren't big board gamers. Libertalia is a pirate game, and you're, I guess it's simultaneous selection, action selection game. Basically, everyone's going to play with access to the same types of cards. So you're going to draft out 9 cards, and then everyone will have the same 9, and they're basically different folks on a ship. There's all the way from the captain down to the parrot, and they're at different ranks, captain being way up at the top there. And they all have different abilities and things they can do for you. Some, you know, give you money, some hurt other people. There's all these different actions, and so it really becomes about deciding when to play which card. Because I know they all have the same cards, at least at the start of the game. We all have the same cards, but we're not necessarily going to play them at the same time because there's really big benefits to playing this card at this one specific moment. And if anyone else plays it, it's just going to absolutely fall apart. So you're kind of trying to play the players, see what they're doing. But the cool thing is that you draft 9 cards for the first round, but you only play 6 of them. So we're not all going to play the same 6, and you keep the other 3 for the future rounds. So as we get deeper into the game, we keep adding a certain amount of same cards, but there's more and more variation between our decks. And I might have this one card I've been hanging on to for a long time, and I know everyone else has used it. I'm the only one left. And I'm going to drop it down for some mad loot. And it's just really interesting and cool. Cool art. And for whatever reason, it's one that really speaks to new gamers. And they seem to be able to understand, you know, kind of how it works because everything's laid out nicely. And so it's been a weirdly big hit with folks that were like, oh, I hope this isn't too heavy or whatever. It's worked out great. So Libertalia is a great game for us, and we really, really enjoy it. Next is a game you know we like. Oh, yeah. Dinosaur Island. See if I keep doing that, I'll get sued. But Dinosaur Island. This is the Mega Deluxe version. I'm going to put it down quickly because it's very heavy. Watch out, hold this here. So if you haven't seen it and stuff before, you haven't seen us stream it, it's a big, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on. But this is just a really cool game where you're trying to put together your best dinosaur theme park. You're trying to build your best Jurassic Park and hopefully have not many people get eaten because that kind of is not good for the PR. And it's just really fun because it has all these different phases. There's kind of, you know, worker placement phases where you're trying to get different DNA to build different dinosaurs, or you're trying to increase your cold storage, or you're trying to get a new recipe basically for a dinosaur so that you can, you know, then make them later. Then you have your workers and you're placing them, and then you're doing kind of your park phases. You're putting tiles into your park, you're buying stuff. There's just all these different really cool parts of the game that are really wrapped around a really solid theme. Really fun. I love the art style, I love the color, I love the 90s retro feel. It came with Pogs, which was very exciting to me as a person who collected Pogs as a kid. Very much a 90s thing. So Dinosaur Island just really kills it. It's one that I enjoy more and more as I play more and more, and will probably be in my top 10, if not top 5, if not top, you know, way up there. So look forward to that later. That is Dinosaur Island. This last game is one we haven't played too much, and every time we do get it to the table, the Bloody End's what I'm talking about, we always remember, like, oh, this is a really cool, interesting game. This is a game where everyone is running a hotel, or you're kind of all running, yeah, I guess hotels in the same area because of the player interaction, and you're trying to kill your guests and bury them basically underneath the floorboards of your hotel because there's benefits to killing your guests and money to be made and things like that. And so it's just a really interesting, morbid theme that has really cool art. All the art's kind of like this, and it's just like delightfully strange. It's not like gross or anything because there's no bloodshed, but just you have to kill your people and you have to get them buried before cops patrol around. And if cops patrol around, you might have to bribe them and whatnot. And it's just this weird world that this game is set in. And so every time we do play it, and it's really best at, like, I think the maximum player count or 3 or 4 for sure. Every time we play it, we were kind of reminded, like, oh, you know what? This is a fun, weird game. And then we kind of forget about it for whatever reason. And so it's one I hope to kind of get to the table a little bit more just because it is this bizarre, fun thing. So that's on this part of the shelf, folks. If you want to see us stream any of these, let us know, and also follow us at twitch.tv/thebrothersmurph in the meantime. We're always open to take suggestions for things to stream. And we're probably going to do Lord of the Rings card game at some point coming up once we get the next stuff. But anyway, folks, that's what's on our shelf. Do you like these games? Do you know these games? Do you have recommendations of other things that are similar to those games? Let us know in the comments below. And we'll check you in the shelf laters. Bye. Such a cool video, right? Man, there's jokes, and I know what happened in this one for sure. So because of that, check out Restoration Games. They sponsor us, and there's info for them in the description below. There's also more things where I'm doing funny stuff. Sometimes Nick is funny, because I've seen all these